George and Dr. Hadley, please come to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's my privilege and honor to introduce Kelly McMasters as this year's physician recipient of the Mark Lehman Spirit of Service Award. The Spirit of Service Awards were founded in a very true sense by Mark through the efforts of his dad, George Lehman, and his mom and his entire family. As Mark went through therapy for acute leukemia, he and his family realized that it was not only scientific and medical information that they relied upon, but also the humanistic qualities of their doctors, nurses, and other providers. Qualities such as kindness, compassion, and empathy, these they came to treasure. These awards are dedicated to the memory of Mark, whose spirit lives on and inspires us to combine both science and the art of medicine in order to best achieve our goals of helping patients and their families. Tonight's recipients of the Spirit of Service Awards exemplify these qualities and these goals. Some years ago, I asked Kelly how he felt about the different large organizations and institutions that are beginning to format and control healthcare in Louisville and across the country. I asked him if he felt more loyal to one institution compared to another. He said that institutional loyalty is secondary to loyalty to patients. He said that it really didn't matter where he was asked to see and treat patients. He would see them and treat them to the best of his ability anywhere, Norton, Jewish, U of L, or even if necessary, on the dark side of the moon. The latter phrase stayed with me. I asked a friend about it, and he said, "Oh, Kelly is probably a fan of Pink Floyd." I said, "What do you mean, Pink Floyd?" He said, "You know, Pink Floyd's signature album, Dark Side of the Moon." I never asked Kelly about this, but the metaphor of the dark side of the moon remained with me, because we, or a loved one, or a family member, when we're first diagnosed with cancer or any other serious illness, we suddenly feel like we are on the dark side of the moon. It's cold and it's scary. We need someone like Kelly, someone who can combine scientific knowledge and empathy and compassion to guide us. We all know that with these diseases, things don't always turn out the way we wish for and hope for and pray for. And that is one of the reasons that we are gathered here tonight. By honoring the recipients of the Spirit of Service Awards, we can rededicate ourselves and redouble our efforts to help our patients and our loved ones, our family and our friends, get off the dark side of the moon and safely home. Kelly is doing this in at least 4 ways that I can think of, and probably more. First, he is taking excellent care of patients. Second, he is doing excellent clinical and basic research. Third, he is teaching the next generation of physicians and surgeons. And fourth, he is chairman of one of the foremost departments of surgery in the country. All 4 of these lines of service have made a great contribution to our community. So on behalf of everyone here tonight, I would like to thank Kelly for all that he has done and continues to do. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you. I wasn't really supposed to say anything, but if you give me an award, I'm afraid you have to listen to me talk for a couple of minutes. Thank you, Terry. That was very kind. I thought at least you could have the Dark Side of the Moon audio playing during you walked up. We'll plan that better next time. Whenever you receive an award, you realize that the people who do all the work are the ones who don't get their name on the award. And I just want to call out a few people who are some of the many people who do all of the work to occasionally allow me to be recognized. And Pam Schmidt and her husband Joe are here tonight. Pam Boone and Richard. I used to have 3 pans. I don't know how I managed with just 2 now, but these ladies have been with me for a long time, and they've done a phenomenal job. Lex Wofford, as well as his wife Terry. Of course, my wife Beth, who does everything. I also want to mention a couple of other very special people. You've heard Vincenzo Gabriel got an award this evening, and you heard about all of his philanthropic efforts, but what I can tell you, for Owen, Vincenzo gave from the heart. He would cook for him and send food for him wherever he was, in the hospital, at home. His favorite dinner, he still knows it, he told me tonight, spaghetti with lobster, no asparagus. Anytime he wanted food, Vincenzo was there, and he gave from his heart and from his soul, and it meant a great deal to us. It still does. Sal Bertolone is here, who's Owen's doctor, and he, along with all of the wonderful doctors and healthcare providers, nurses in the U of L Pediatric Oncology Division, and all of the wonderful nurses and healthcare providers at Norton Children's Hospital. We spent a lot of nights in that hospital, a lot of long days, every holiday it seemed for many years. And I can tell you, having spent time in another large children's hospital up the road, the care we received was unbelievable, and the dedication of the people who provided that care was truly unbelievable. So thank you to all of you for that. I'm a surgical oncologist. I'm a cancer surgeon. I cut out cancer for a living. I treat adults with cancer, and treating adults with cancer, is child's play compared to those of you who have to take care of children with cancer. And for those who are involved at every stage of caring for children with cancer, you have our unending gratitude and respect. It's truly a difficult thing to do, and it makes a huge difference. One of the things that you heard from Jason that I've specialized in over the years is melanoma. And the treatment for melanoma used to be surgery, and more surgery. Because if you were the melanoma oncologist, it was the most depressing job in the world. We knew that melanoma didn't respond to chemotherapy, it was resistant. Radiation therapy, melanoma laughed at radiation therapy. If you were the melanoma oncologist, you were giving treatments that you knew were futile and that the patients had no hope. And you tried to put a good face on it. This is how melanoma was till about 5 years ago. And it's all changed. There's been a revolution in immunotherapy. And now patients who come in with terminal disease that would have taken their life in a few months, in many cases are cured of their cancer, even widely metastatic cancer, because we can give treatments that stimulate their own immune system to fight the cancer and destroy it. And unlike chemotherapy that we would sometimes give, and it would shrink the cancer a little bit, then it would grow right back, immunotherapies often we get what we call a durable, complete response, because oncologists never like to use the word cure, but that means that they're cured of their cancer. I found myself in the unenviable position with Jason and Don Miller over the past several years in the melanoma clinic of arguing as a surgeon not to operate on the patients, to give them immunotherapy, give them a chance at the miracle of modern immunotherapy. This is why Jason talked about that tonight, because this is a real revolution. The only thing smarter than cancer is the immune system. Our own immune system, properly triggered, can eliminate the cancer. And you're seeing this approach being used in every kind of cancer. There's a lot of work to be done. As you've heard, my son Owen, like Mark Lehman, died of leukemia. Owen had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, ALL. There's two basic kinds of ALL, B cell and T cell. If you have B cell ALL, the chemotherapy that we give and bone marrow transplants when needed, most of the time can cure those kids of cancer, but not always. And if they failed and needed additional treatment, there was no really effective treatment. Those children would die. Now, with the kind of cellular immunotherapy, CAR T-cell therapy that Jason talked about, up to 85, 90% of those kids can be cured of their cancer with modern cellular immunotherapy, B-cell ALL. Owen had the other kind, T-cell ALL. You heard the T-cells are the kind of cells that are supposed to kill the cancer. What happens when the T-cells turn into cancer? The story didn't turn out so well for Owen. But it turns out that the science to have cured Owen of his cancer is right at our fingertips. Jason talked about it. We were actually taking Owen's cancer cells, working with Dr. Chesney and others at the Cancer Center and scientists in New York, taking Owen's cancer cells, as well as his T cells, actually at that point it was his donor's T cells, but out of his body, and in the test tube every day we could kill his cancer with genetically engineered T cells, the same CAR T cell approach that Jason talked about. In the laboratory, we could kill his cancer, just like the children in China with AML that Jason talked about. We didn't get enough time to be able to bring this to be able to be used for Owen and other children and adults with this kind of cancer. But you can see it's right there. It just needs more research. This is what we are all focused on. And here in this community, we all need to be focused on bringing these types of treatments, clinical trials, the latest type of immunotherapy research, so that patients like Mark and like Owen have a chance to be cured of their cancer. Thank you so much. I'm honored by the award.